Okay, hello everyone. I'm gonna be talking about to hustle or not to hustle. So we'll be discussing how to effectively implement hustle into your business or into your lives, just like anything, that it can be useful for. Like hustling can help you in a lot of things. It can also be negative. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. What does hustling mean? I feel like in our field of work, we talk or hear a lot about hustling. So that's where we're gonna start. The idea of hustling is actually pretty recent. I did some research, and the hustle, let's say, started 2008, after the Great Depression. People internalized that, I need to work really, really hard if I wanna make money, if I wanna make ends meet. If I want to succeed, I need to hustle. I need to work twice, 3 times as hard as everyone else. That's more or less where it came from, and it developed into different things. Some of those things, or some of those ideas of what hustling is, are really good, are really positive, and some others are negative. And these are some examples. So ownership of your objective, great thing. Focus on action towards your goals, great thing as well. Never give up, getting results. All of those are great things. But there's also other, a lot of people also see hustling in a negative light. They see it as something that's not good, or that it can develop into really bad things for you, personally, and your goals and your business, anything that you're doing. So a toxic mindset, work dominating your life, only work in your head, nothing else. Toxic productivity is another one. And we're gonna discuss why some people think that it's a good thing, why some people think that it's a bad thing. So in business, which is, or what we're doing here, it refers to hustling as a good thing. So it's a mindset of consistent effort, hard work, and determination towards achieving your goals. Just a lot of motivation, unbreakable, unbeatable work ethic, no regards for rejection, innovative, knack for getting noticed. So everything is good. And we're gonna see why these are the things that we have to be focused on if we want hustling to work for us and to work towards us. Towards our goals. Okay, so why is hustle culture controversial? Or why did it become the idea that hustling is controversial? Fitting into hustle culture can be dangerous. Why? We're gonna talk about. So as in anything else in your life, when you get, when you do too much, it becomes a bad thing, I think there's a saying in Spanish, I don't remember it right now, but, cualquier cosa en exceso es mala. So anything in excess is it's bad for you. And that applies to hustling as well. So the reasons why hustling can be dangerous for you, it makes you believe that you can achieve anything through pure hustle. That's not the case. It would be great if that were the case, but in reality, hustle, you need more than to hustle to get to where you are. You need strategy, you need to understand what you're doing. Sadly, hustling at some point is not gonna be enough. If you're not working, you're wasting time. That's just, a pretty bad mindset in the long run. And it goes in hand with your worth equals how much you work. And it also goes in hand with if you're not at 200% in it all of the time, you're not doing enough. So these 3 in the long run just end up completely burning you out. It's the definition of burnout. If you don't give yourself the compassion, sometimes you're gonna be working at an 80% capacity. Sometimes you're gonna be working at 110% capacity. Those 2 are fine. And if you're always running at a 150%, and if you internalize that, if I'm taking a break, I suck, like this is terrible for me and for my business, you're not gonna go a long way. It's not how humans work. It's something that we need to understand. And I feel like a lot of investors or people who are getting started in businesses don't like internalize, like they don't practice the self-compassion that they need to practice. And the last one, the more sacrifices you take, the better, they will be worth it. There have been a lot of cases of people, like successful people, that understand that this is not the case. There are things in life that can be more important. If your mom is in the hospital and you have a meeting, you're probably gonna regret going to that meeting instead of like spending that time with your mom, or like important things in your life, spending time with your family, with your friends. If you're always like in the hustle, just sacrificing everything else in your life to grow your business, when you're 80, 90 years old, you might think back to those things and regret it. Like you may have all the money in the world, but if you don't appreciate those things, it's not gonna be worth it. How do those things affect you as a person and affect like your business? So, some people call hustle culture the burnout culture, because they internalize this idea that, if you're not working, you're not doing anything, like you're not worth it. It can actually cause like anxiety and guilt because, if one day you didn't do as much as you wanted to do, you feel terrible. You feel like, like not worth it. Anxiety, similar, you feel anxious because you didn't finish what you were doing the day before or like the week before, and it just builds up. Like anxiety builds up and it takes a toll on you. Apathy towards responsibilities that you used to enjoy. You probably love sales, you probably love systems, you probably love like what you do, but if you only see it as a way to get money and like this is my worth, if I'm not doing it right, I'm not worth anything, it becomes like something that you don't enjoy. And in the long run, again, it's not sustainable. It's gonna turn against you because you're not gonna want to do it, and you're gonna do it less and less and like with less passion. Toxic positivity, it's actually a really interesting one. It's the idea, again, everything is, it's like when you're feeling sad and someone tells you, just be happy. It doesn't work that way. If your work isn't going great, just work more. No, and that's gonna fix it? No. Sadly, again, it doesn't work that way. Work-life imbalance, similar to what we talked about, other things in your life are more important than your work, and that's fine, that's healthy. You need to understand what those things are and create a balance that works for you. And lastly, increased risk of illness. I think we all know that, or it's been proven that if you don't get enough sleep, if you are not, if you're constantly in a state of stress and anxiety, it affects you. It puts you at a higher risk of, getting cold, just getting sick in general. However, there are a lot of positive things about hustle and hustling, and it's all about hustling. The second one makes you value the importance of hard work and consistency. When you get started with, your hustling, you see how much work it actually needs to be put into your business for it to work. The hard work needs to be there. Makes you value that, all those hours are needed for success to happen. Pushes you to achieve more. In that hustle mindset, you feel and I want to do more. I want to achieve more. I want to get more. You become greedy in a good way. You can become greedy in I want to be a better version of myself, a better version of what I'm doing. My business can be better. Build a don't settle mentality kind of goes hand in hand with pushes you to achieve more. If you're in that hustle mindset, you want to do more. I know I can do more. I don't want to get stuck in what I'm doing right now because I know I'm capable of doing more. No fear of challenges, same. In that hustle, when something bad happens, we're gonna get to it, it doesn't matter. We're gonna hustle our way through it. That's great. That's extremely helpful for when you're running a business, especially when you're getting started. And lastly, make things happen. Similar, no matter what the hurdles are, you're gonna get on it and make it happen. That's, again, extremely crucial if you're just getting started, like with business, and you have your own business, your startup, whatever. You have to make things happen, and you need to find a way to make things happen. Hustling and the hustle mentality helps you with that. So we're gonna talk about like how to implement things, hustling into your business. So great when getting started, dangerous in the long run. Why? Getting started, that initial motivation, that initial understanding and valuing of hard work is great. What happens in the long run? If you're only hustling in the long run, you're gonna burn out. Being successful is more than just hustling, and you need to understand that strategy, like systems, having people around you that can help you is just as important and probably way more important than hustling. You can always use hustling in many different fields, in many different things in your work, but it's more than that. Hustling is great, but your success is more than hustling. Focus on the work ethic aspects of hustling. Don't let it define your self-worth. We talked about how hustling, great work ethic, get on the challenges, don't be afraid of what's to come. That's great, but don't define your self-worth based on hustling, because if I'm not working right now, I'm not doing anything. No, it's fine. Don't let it define who you are, because you're more than your hustle. You're more than how much you can work and how good your work is 100% of the time. Remember that success is subjective. It's not a race. I think we've heard this one a lot. Everyone takes their own time, and sometimes hustle mentality makes you think that you can achieve things in an amount of time that's actually not realistic. And while there are people who get really successful really fast, that's not that reality for most people. That's not the reality for most businesses or business owners. It takes time, and it takes time for you to understand what needs to be done to be successful. A hustler sees the bigger picture, and they don't get stuck in short-term success. Just, hustling is great at the beginning, and a hustler knows what's to come. It's having that vision. And as a hustler, you are able to develop a vision of what you need in the long term. Don't get stuck in short-term success, because, short-term rarely defines how your business is gonna do in the long run. Short-term can be great, it can be terrible, and you never know what's gonna happen. As long as you have good planning and you have goals, you prioritize yourself and the things that you have to do, don't look at the short term. A hustler will make things out of nothing. I think that's a great one. A lot of business owners, when they get started, they don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of experience, they don't have what it probably takes in the long run to be successful. But a hustler knows that they can make it. They see something where there's nothing. They know, or they find out where to get the education, the help, the experience that they need. And when they get those, they can work on the long-term success of their businesses. And a lot of this idea of hustling and using the hustle mentality effectively ties down to work smarter, not harder. It's all about how you use those little pieces and the help of everyone around you to your advantage. Not just you working hard and trying to make things work when it's really difficult. No, you need to be smart about what you do, and things are gonna work out. So how do we grow beyond the hustle? I want everyone to Esteban, you started this company on your own, right? It was you, then it was Lina. Imagine if after 4 years, it was still you, and you were trying to do graphic design, and you were trying to do video editing, everything only on your own. It's not sustainable, and Hustle wouldn't have grown as far as it has. And I think all of us have probably been in similar situations. You get the initial motivation, you get the initial hustle, but then you lose that motivation because you didn't plan in the long term. I feel like the most common example is us. I want to do this right now, and you get started and do it at 120%, and then you crash, and that's normal. And it's about knowing how to minimize the risk of that happening. So these are some ways you can minimize that risk. Keep in mind, so having a plan. Okay, I'm going at 120% right now, but in 6 months, am I gonna still be going at 120%? Probably not. So let's see let's create a plan of what we're gonna be doing. The plan is probably gonna get messed up at some point, but it's always great to have a plan. Think of the long term. I have goals in 1 year, 2 years. Getting there, it's not gonna be easy. There's gonna be a lot of hardships, but I know that there's stuff that I have in my mind that I wanna get done in that period of time. Network and build relationships. I think that's just great advice for anyone in business. You need people around you that are doing similar things and that share similar values to you, and maybe their businesses have similar values to your business. It's great to surround yourself with those people, and it helps you. The moment if you crash, you're not alone. There's people around you that you can go to and seek advice and ask them hey, did this ever happen to you? They can help you. Always be learning and doing research. When we start hustling, a lot of the times we don't have that initial knowledge of what we're doing. We just want to do it, right? So if you keep on learning, that initial motivation, hustling, turns more into a passion, something that what you're doing. You want to do more. You want to implement things that you have learned throughout the time that you're hustling or working. Understand strategies that can help you grow your business beyond the hustle. You start hustling, work hard, but what else can I do to help my business grow? Always think about that and write them down, whatever you can implement. Set boundaries. Going back to you don't want to burn out. Burnout is the worst thing that can happen to you. You don't want to regret not setting a work-life balance right at the beginning. So set them as soon as you can. I'm working from this time to this time. I may do extra hours, but give yourself the time to do other things, more personal things, to spend time with family, friends. That's always going to help you. And learn how to prioritize work and life. What things in your work do you need to be doing in the beginning? What do you need to do first? And same with your personal life. Do I really want to be working when my sister is getting married? Probably not. You're probably going to regret that. Set those boundaries. I understand that prioritizing your goals and the things that you want to do is extremely important. And just to put this quote out, there is no glory in a grind that literally grinds you to dust. We don't want to lose ourselves in the hustle, You want to keep going. You don't want to feel like you're done. Keep it in mind. It's completely fine, and it's great to force yourself, or you want to motivate yourself to, I know I can do more, but just take care of yourself, guys. You don't want to burn out and be unable to do anything else and just be left with crumbs of what your dreams were.